Well, howdy, Ags, and welcome to another episode of Aggie Growth Hacks. This is Chris Hunter, and today I am going to be the host for this episode. Greg Martin, my co-host, was not able to make it for some unforeseen reasons, but we're just going to push on as best as we can. We've got a really cool episode this time around with Sheena Parker with Foresight Industries, and she is a former entrepreneur's boot camp for veterans that's held by the McFerrin Center every year. She has gone through that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this. So one of the things that you learn at EBV is to provide an elevator pitch about yourself and your company. We would love to learn about you. So what is your elevator pitch, Sheena?
Okay, Sheena Parker. My company is Foresight Industries, and we make buildings beautiful again by providing facility maintenance services such as janitorial, floor repair, painting, drywall, pressure washing services exclusively for government and state agencies.
Awesome. Where are you located at, Sheena?
Atlanta.
Right. Hotlanta. Yeah. Awesome. So, the military instills certain skills that are required to fight and win our nation's wars, right? Many of these skills are also essential to success as an entrepreneur. And I know this because I am a former veteran as well. And yay, I'm Air Force, though. You're Army. We won't hold it against you. Against each other on this, but
not this time, no.
So tell me, what is the top skill that you learned and acquired while in the military that's proven invaluable as an entrepreneur?
Well, one of the things that I thought I acquired was being able to manage people. Now, I definitely learned a lot of that in the military, especially since I'm a warrant officer. So because I'm still serving, I thought I was a superb supervisor. I can manage 1,000 soldiers, but it's a lot different when you become a business owner and you're paying the money. Everything changes when you have to run payroll. So, but it did prove as invaluable when I looked at some of my other leaders who were managing, like me as a junior soldier and other soldiers that may have had issues. I think managing people is one of the biggest things. And then also the discipline of, no complaints. If you're tired, it doesn't matter. I'm part of the 4 a.m. club. So I do get up at 4 o'clock every morning. Ironically, I didn't do that when I was active duty Army. I hated it. But the fact that I know it can be done, it's humanly possible. I think that was a skill that I didn't know I learned that I put into practice now at the end of my service.
Nice. So what started that? Why did you, decide on 4 a.m.?
It's actually a really weird story that has nothing to do with the military.
That's fine.
So when COVID happened, my sister is a nurse and she needed a babysitter. And so unlike my children, my kids get up late. Her kids get up early, like before sun, before roosters. They get up at like 5 a.m. Whoa. So the 2 weeks that I was watching them, I said, I have to get something done before these jokers get up and start demanding food. So 4 a.m. was really the only option. And I loved it because I don't think I was ever really a night owl. I would stay up late, but then it was so hard for me to recover. I'm like, this is probably not right. So the 4 a.m. was the best option. I do stay up kind of late, but it's peaceful. I work out. I can get a lot of stuff done before anyone in any house really is awake.
Love it. I remember, even just going through boot camp where they just kept instilling in us that, we get more done before 6 a.m. than anyone in the world, right?
So accurate.
Yeah.
So accurate.
Love it. So let me ask then, does your team have to do that too? Do they have to get up super early like that?
No. Well, they'll see some messages coming through our system, from me at 4 a.m. And I tell them, do not respond until you come on the clock. Some of them do stay up late or get up early and they'll respond. And I'm like, I told you not to do that. But no, it's definitely not a requirement yet.
Love it. That's get up at 4. Come on, guys. Where are you at?
Come on. Get it together. Yes.
Awesome. So, as helpful as the military is in preparing you for personal and professional discipline, entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship itself requires different set of skills, right? Than most of us are taught in the service. So, as you think back on your entrepreneurial journey so far, what's been the biggest area of growth that you've had to learn
um,
besides getting up at 4 a.m.?
I know. I will say, I got to think about this strategically. I would say that because I was always entrepreneurial, there's a lot of ambition that you need to have to be an entrepreneur. Like you have to know that you might not get paid for a long time. If sometimes ever, I mean, in relation to a steady paycheck, and being okay with that. Like when this is not fun, can I keep going? When I'm not getting paid, can I keep going? When I get fussed out or cussed out by a former or current employee, can I keep going? What's my end goal? So I think it's just the ambition that I've pretty much always had, and I've done various businesses since I was an entrepreneur since I was 12. So
Nice.
it's always kind of been there, but they were never at this scale. So I think just building on those hustles along the way um, prepared me to be an actual business owner, like at a different level.
So basically, mental toughness then, right? Because that's what it kind of sounds
Yeah,
like there.
yeah, mental
Awesome.
toughness, ambition. Because I still meet a lot of people who have businesses and they're not ambitious. I mean, they're
Yeah.
comfortable with doing this one thing, and that may be fine, but you definitely have to have the fortitude to continue when it's not
Yeah.
it's not sexy anymore.
Absolutely. Yep. So adapt and overcome is the military version of hack, right? We're Aggie Growth Hacks. So, but in this episode, we are talking, veteran to veteran here. What's
Mhm.
been the biggest challenge that you faced in the past 12 months and how have you overcome or hacked it?
The biggest or all of?
I know that you face challenges every single day. We all do as entrepreneurs, but
Of
what's
course.
been the number one biggest challenge that you've had?
I would s Okay, so I'll be very specific. For my industry and specifically me doing government contracting, um, I started the business 4 years ago. So I think at one point I may have grown too fast. I
Okay.
wasn't prepared for I was semi-prepared because I was still working in the field for the last couple of years, but just this year in particular, I had an influx of contracts
Yeah.
that, because when you're bidding, not sure if you're ever going to get anything. And then there were 9 months where I didn't win anything. And then there was one week where I won six.
Yeah.
So there's really no way to measure. So I'm just like, oh yeah, we're just bidding. And then boom, I have all these contracts and I'm literally running in circles. So I would say that the challenge that I had was figuring out how to expand there was no flexibility. It wasn't like I could say, hey, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do
Yeah.
this contracting anymore. Because I've already won. So just expanding myself, and oh, by the way, I do other things outside of being a business owner.
Right.
So it was definitely an eye opener, and it forced me, to be a better business owner, to be innovative, to be agile. But boy, was it painful.
Growth sometimes does come at an expense, right? That you've got to, and when you rapidly expand like that, yeah, you've got to figure things out, right? So s- yeah, so obviously you had to get systems and people in place, right? Real quickly. How did you do that?
So thank goodness. When one thing I noticed when I talk to new business owners, I'm acting like I'm one of those old business owners, but new business owners, like, I don't want to pay, I'm going to do everything myself. And I was that for a
Yeah.
long time. So I did start to put together a team and I did start building my network. I built my network along the way, but really, really honing in on that because I knew I wanted to grow at some point. So I really, I started building systems even with just the two people that I had on staff. And that was a mentor's advice. And I think even some books that I read, I'm a reader. So, act as if you have a whole fleet of employees, put those systems in place before anyone comes. And so I started practicing that and learning how to use a lot of these systems and how to hire. I mean, oh my God, no one talked about hiring is the worst thing ever on earth. It needs to be a whole entire separate part of entrepreneurship training, like
Absolutely.
a whole day.
Yep.
So if it's not somewhere, if it is somewhere, let me know. But I really wanted to make sure that I did that because I know I wanted to grow. Did that answer I'm sorry.
No, absolutely. No, that's
Okay.
perfect. And you're right. Hiring is one of the hardest things, right? And figuring that out and building a system around just hiring itself, is super, super hard. Now that brings us to our next question here, which is, what's your big, hairy, audacious goal, your BHAG, which is your 5 to 10 year moonshot?
So forgive me because I've thought about this a lot in the last few weeks. It was a very tough couple of weeks just this past. So I thought about that, and it has changed tremendously in the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday, ironically, I kind of settled on almost like, if I can use an example of Berkshire Hathaway, where Warren Buffett bought a business and the owners of the business continue to work in it at their leisure until they just decided they didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where I am. Before it was like, I want this to be a legacy business. My kids are going to take it. I don't think my kids care. So, they help me in the business a little bit, but I don't think they really care. And I don't want to put it on them. And then I leave this earth and they let it go, and all that my hopes and dreams that of course I won't be here anymore, but you want to know that at least it's going to continue forward. And I don't know if they would at some point when they're adults decide to take it over, but I want to build it to sell. Not sure what that looks like because it is a service business, and I know people can sell that. Yep. But it's not unique. It's not unique. I'm scrubbing toilets and pressure washing and doing landscaping. Let's be honest. I'm doing exceptionally well at it, luckily, but it's not unique. And so that's another thing that I've talked to people about, like, okay, what makes us different? And they're very simple things that make us different. Customer service. We do an amazing job, and that's something that a lot of agencies have said that's what makes us different. Yeah. But what does that look like in 10 years? I honestly can't specify at this time what that is because it's changing so much with each stressor that comes into this business, or each good thing that comes into the business,
Yep. So basically you're saying that you don't quite have one set, or are you saying that you're just really wanting to get it to where you can actually scale the company, or something like that?
Right. Yes, exactly right. I want to be able to get it to a point where I'm not the CEO and someone else is making most of the decisions, and I can come in and as I please and get a percentage from what the company is earning. Actually, when I was at EBV, Miss, oh my gosh, I forgot her name. I just looked at her LinkedIn today. She is the CFO. No, she's the Chief Operating Officer of Neighborly. And I got a chance to speak with her when I was there, and after. She was kind enough to take my call, and that's a very identical business structure to mine because they have those separate services within Neighborly. And so I was actually thinking about that yesterday. Maybe it might turn into something similar to that, but I'm not exactly sure what that looks like. But I want to be able to step down as CEO, be on the board of my own company, earn some money, sit on the beach, travel to Japan, and not have to work, as hard as I am. So that's pretty much kind of what I'm trying to do.
Right. No, I totally get that. That's every service business, you always face issues on scalability, on that, because the owner at the beginning is really a lot of the company, so that is Yeah,
My
it is what
friend
it
told me
is.
I'm indispensable, and that's a problem.
Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
All right, so this brings us to the lightning round,
Uh-oh.
which is basically it's a rapid fire questions. You've got a couple of minutes to answer each question, but before we get started on that, we're gonna pause here just so that we can hear from our sponsors, the McFerrin Center for Entrepreneurship at Texas A&M. All right, we were back for the lightning round. So you ready for this?
I think so.
All
Okay,
right.
let me think
All
real
right.
hard.
Okay. All right. So, number one, what's your favorite hack? It can be personal, it can be business, whatever. Anything goes here. What is your one tiny thing that you do every single day that produces 80% of the results?
Getting up at 4 a.m.
4 a.m. I figured that you were going to say that. Yeah. All right. Yeah, cool. So, what's one book, podcast, YouTube channel, whatever that you get a lot of value out of besides
Oh,
Aggie Growth Hacks?
of course, growth hacks. Definitely growth hacks. Also, the Company Man on YouTube, one of my favorite business dissecting YouTube channels, and then the E-Myth Revisited changed my life, along with The Secret.
Secret. Love that one too.
Yes.
Awesome. So, we all know how valuable that the Aggie Network is. Is there anyone in the Aggie Network that you'd like to say thank you to?
Oh my God, you. Hey, Greg. Definitely.
Ah,
That was one of my most favorite experiences ever, being
awesome.
there, being amongst my peers, and all the staff were phenomenal and helpful. And I love the whole experience. So everyone gets a heart from me.
Awesome. That's cool. So, how can anyone that's listening to this in the Aggie Network or EBV, right, get in touch with you and support you moving forward?
Okay. Well, Sheena Parker on LinkedIn. And also I have been able to interview some of the new EBV candidates coming in. That has been super fun. So Sheena Parker on LinkedIn. I am on Instagram, Sheenapreneur. That's SHEENAPRENEUR. And that's pretty much it. I don't do a lot of social media anymore, but those two places you can definitely find me.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your generosity on coming on Aggie Growth Hacks and giving us all of your knowledge bombs that you have, like getting up at 4 a.m. to get stuff done. Woo, I'm still thinking about that.
Yes.
And thank you so much to all the Aggie entrepreneurs that are listening to us around the world. Thank you.